What's going on, everybody? Jeremy Hritz, Courage Pays Better Than Fear Trading, here back with a brand new episode of the Traders Podcast, episode number 49. And it's been a few weeks since I recorded a new episode here. We've continued to be in the drawdown in the market. We actually hit that 10% market correction. And as I'm speaking today, the market is down 100 more points after testing that 200 simple moving average on the daily chart. And in talking to traders over the last few weeks, I have picked up on frustrations from them not being able to catch the downward moves, or whenever they're ready to short, the market's flipping, it's reversing, they're going long. And so today I wanted to spend some time talking about the frustrations of trading and how we can overcome them by staying calm, and that leading us to profitability. All of that and more in episode number 49 of the Traders Podcast. Let's go. So it is good to have all of you back here for episode number 49. Again, as I mentioned at the outset of the show, we've been in this drawdown period in the market after a massive run the last 2 years, 2023, 2024, the big bull pushes. And if you joined me for the free webinar I did a few weeks ago, you saw that in all of 2024, we did not have a 10% market correction. And now we have finally got it. I believe we corrected about 10.48%. We had a little bit of a relief rally and we were back to selling down. But remember, these are all normal parts of market cycles, right? In bull runs, typically you have those market corrections. And if it does convert into something major or more significant like a bear market, we're looking at possibly 9 months to a year that could last. And remember, bear markets are when you correct 20% from all-time highs, and we haven't hit that yet. We would still have much further to go on the broader markets, the SPX specifically, but we are in that drawdown period. And you might be asking, well, what is causing that? And remember, I've said this several times on the show, that the market does not like uncertainty. And with certain economic policies that are coming into being right now, specifically with tariffs, that uncertainty is now being priced into the market. And there's concerns that the tariffs can be inflationary, which is going to increase prices for consumers, you and I, which is going to stress the consumer. They're going to pull back from their spending, which in turn can impact businesses, because if people aren't spending money, that can impact their earnings and their profits. And it's just an overall potential negative for the economy. So we have to watch to see how that gets resolved. It will be resolved at some point, or eventually what will happen is the market will price it in. The stocks will drop over time, and it will get to a point where it bottoms, and then a rebound will come in. And keep that in mind as well, is that bear markets do not last forever. Market corrections do not last forever. Even bull markets, but bull markets last much longer than bear markets or market corrections. So keep that in mind. So if you're a bull trader, if you're a perma bull, as they call it, this will not last. This too shall pass. But there are opportunities to go short if you pick your spots to do that. But that really lays out the landscape of things and where we are now. But today, here's what I wanted to talk about. Again, because in speaking with a lot of traders, there's frustration right now with the markets. We're in this short-term downtrend, and some people are not as comfortable going short, or when they go short, the market reverses. And frustration is just a part of trading. I've had my fair share of difficult days. And here recently, I've had some losing days. It's part of the process where you're losing money, or you miss out on a big move. You're watching a trade that you got stopped out on turn and run, whether going short or long. Or let's say that you don't follow your trading plan, and because of that, you missed out on profit. Do these things sound familiar? And I'm sure they do, because these are the frustrations that I hear a lot of time from traders, right? And it can be an emotional roller coaster, because at one moment you're up, right? You're feeling on top of the world. You have this winning trade, and then the next day you have a losing trade, and you're beating yourself up. You're feeling like you can't do this. But the reality we have to keep in mind in those moments is that even the best traders are going to lose trades. It's just part of the process. And what we also lead ourselves into thinking is that because we're not making progress or because we're not having winning trades, that we're not excelling or growing or improving as a trader. But that's just not true. Um, what that can lead to is you to question your skill, for you to doubt your ability to do this, and then it may lead you to go and revenge trade. I'm going to show this stock that I could do this, or it could lead you to giving up to trading entirely. And I'd hate to see you do that, right? Because those who persevere, who stick with this, who go slow, who go very small and build themselves up over time, those are the traders who are able to overcome these challenges. And I'm going to give you three things that you could do that can help you in this process so that you can stay calm, you can achieve profitability, and you could make it through those moments of frustration. So here we go. So the first step or the first tip is just accepting that losses are a part of trading. And it may sound obvious, but ask yourself, do you really accept the loss? Do you accept that, hey, if I'm going to trade, I have to be okay with losing? And if you can accept that and be okay with it and comfortable with it, you could save yourself a lot of stress. Because here's the truth: no trader wins 100% of their trades. And if they tell you that, they're lying. Okay. Even the best traders that are out there, they have losing trades. The difference is they don't let them derail them from what their target is, and they don't let that emotionally overtake them. They expect it. They plan for it. And then when it happens, they study what they did wrong and they moved on. Right. And I've talked about, my early trading career when I was shorting Nvidia during the bear market and it was profitable. And then it reversed on me. It just happened to be the day that the bear market bottomed. And then I took my stop loss out. And then as it just continued to climb, $7,000 later, I was just so upset. I was like, wow, what did I just do? And the problem there was I didn't stick to my plan. Had I just stuck to my plan, it would have been a manageable loss. But that loss that I incurred on that day took me quite some time to dig out of. And that's where, if had I just accepted at that time that losing is part of this process, you're going to lose. You're going to have losing days, maybe losing weeks, maybe even a losing month. If I would have accepted that, I would have been much further ahead than if I didn't try to hold on to that trade and force it to work out. Right. But then I realized over time, losses are just data. It's information that's telling us what's not working. Right. It told me, hey, moron, make sure that you have a stop loss. And again, you don't have to win 80, 90% of your trades. If you're winning bigger than you're losing and you're winning 50 to 60% of the time, that's more than enough to be profitable. So keep that in mind. And the other part too is just the size of your trades. I always stress to traders, you have no business going with large position sizes early on if you can't trade 10, 15, $25 consistently over 10 trades. So if you haven't done 6 out of 10 trades winning with $25, you have no business moving to $50 or $100. You don't. You have to earn it. You have to achieve it. And when you try to go too fast, and I've done this, you're going to get burned and you're going to lose. Okay. So take a deep breath, accept that losses happen, and focus on the long-term part of the game. That's step number one. Now, step number two is we have to have a trading routine. And one of the biggest reasons that traders get frustrated is because they're emotional when they trade. They see the market start to run, they FOMO into it. Or when we see a little bit of a retracement when we're going long, they panic sell, they get out of the dip. Or after they lose, they think, I got to get it back, and they overtrade. This is all emotional trading, and we have to make sure that we're taking that emotion out of the trade. And that's where having a routine can benefit you. And so for myself, I always look at my setups the night before, so I know those 3 to 4 tickers I'm going to be watching based on the candle setup to see which ones I'm going to trade. And then when the pre-market hits, I'm looking to see, okay, of these 4, which are the top 2? And when I've identified those are the 2 that I'll focus on. Now, here's the thing. I trade that 2-hour window, 9:30 to 11:30. If I don't have a setup or move, and recently I haven't had great setups. So there are some days I don't trade because I know that if I chase or if I force it, I could potentially end up in a situation where I lose. And so I have to be selective and wait for only the best trade setup. So that's part of my routine. I plan that. And again, if I see something running either way, I'm not just going to jump in and chase it because that's FOMO. And I know what that leads to from personal experience from chasing. So I wait for my setup criteria to be hit. And this allows me to see what's working, what's not working, so that I'm not putting myself in a position where I'm going to lose. And so, what I'm going to recommend to you is have a routine. You do the same thing day after day. And it's boring. It becomes boring. We're not trading because this is exciting. Oh, this is great. Blah blah blah. No, we're trading to make money. We have to treat this like a business. Okay. The way that we do that is we structure it. We make sure that we do the same thing. We have a process that we follow, and we only take the trades when they meet our criteria. If we're not doing that, then you're gambling. And that's where people often say that trading is like gambling. Well, if you're doing it without a plan and you're not following your rules, that's what you're doing. And that is a recipe for losing all your money. So get a routine. And then the last piece, the third thing that I would tell you is take breaks and focus on the big picture. Trading, a lot of people think, oh, you're just pressing buttons, you're not putting a lot of work, but you really are. You're putting a lot of study into this. If you're doing it right, you're doing a lot of back trading. You know what's happening in the larger economy. And if you don't take time away from the screen, from charts, you're going to burn out. And when you're in that type of mindset and you're stressed, frustration is going to take over. So make sure that you're giving yourself regular breaks. If you've had a losing trade, walk away and go do something else. Don't sit there and immediately try to jump back in because you're setting yourself up for another loss. Go take a walk your dog, go hug your kids, but just get away, walk away from it. Um, that's something that I do too. When having a losing trade, sure, you're feeling that emotion of, oh man, I'm not good at this. But again, when you accept that it's part of the process and you're like, okay, moving on, didn't work out today, you have the rest of the month to achieve profitability. And you don't want to double down because if you do, then you can end up making that loss bigger, right? And this is where zooming out and taking a long-term perspective is also important. And what I mean by that is if we think that one trade makes or breaks us, or one week makes us or breaks us, remember there's 52 weeks in a year. There's 365 days in a year. You have the entire year to be profitable. And if you're focusing on one trade, one losing trade, and letting that define where you're going or how you're going to move forward, you're not setting yourself up or putting yourself in the mindset to be successful. And I often say this too. If you, let's say that you're not profitable this year, but you're working hard, you're studying, you're learning, and the profitability comes the following year, would you rather never be profitable at all and just quit and give up? Or if you don't have it this year, then you can't do this, right? And that's the thing. You have to pay your dues. You have to put the time in. You have to make the sacrifices. It requires effort. It requires belief. It requires consistency. And having that long-term perspective is important. All right. So focus on that big picture so you can stay grounded and remember why you started trading in the first place, to build wealth over time, not overnight. Remember, trading is not a get rich quick scheme. And if that's what you're in it for, this is the wrong thing for you. All right. So that's 3 things that you could do right now to overcome your frustrations with trading. Accept that losses are part of this process. plan for them, move on, build your trading routine, stay disciplined, trade with your plan, not your emotions, and take breaks and look at that big picture. If you could do these three things, this is going to help you with your frustrations in trading. And remember, we're in a downturn right now, but the market cycles, it moves, it rebounds. And the key is to trade the charts, trade what the chart is telling us, and that is what is going to lead you to success. Appreciate you guys joining me here for episode number 49. If you found this episode helpful, I'd love for you to just take a quick second, drop a comment down below, like, subscribe, share with your family and friends. It really helps the podcast reach more traders. And the one thing that I wanted to mention is I do have a free spring trading bootcamp coming up on April 8th. And it's completely free. If you want to register, that is linked in the show notes. Please check that out. Would love to have you be a part of that. If you're looking to learn more about trading, investing, reach out to me, couragepaysbetter@gmail.com. And that's going to do it for episode number 49. Until next time, trade smart, stay calm, overcome your frustration, and I will see you back here. It's going to be episode 50, guys, of the Traders Podcast. Make it a great day. Take care, everybody.